get to this point in the album where, like, for a few days or could last week, could last months, where you just get to the point and you're like, okay, we need a smash. We need a smash to put this album to bed. You have, like, good stuff, you have great stuff, but it's not, you know when you get that record and you're like, all right, send it to the presses. We hadn't got this.
Jennifer Lopez sitting across from FBI agents. Now that's a headline nobody saw coming, but guess what? It's real and the drama. Or should we say the three-ring circus is just kicking off. The feds showed up at her doorstep, ready to grill her about none other than her ex, Diddy Combs. Yep, back when J. Dolo and Diddy were that couple who couldn't step outside without the cameras losing their minds. So what did Jenny from the block spill to those agents? Did she drop the tea they were thirsting for? Or did she keep that face as cool as the diamonds she wears? If you're thinking this is just some random twist of fate, baby, think again. This was a relationship ripping in drama and shadowed by scandal. Remember those wild nights in the late 90s when Diddy was more infamous party king than music tycoon? The whispers about what went down behind those VIP curtains never truly faded. They've only gotten louder, and now with Diddy's latest run-ins with the law, those whispers, they're turning into full-blown roars. Of course, G-Lo's been busy living her best life, marrying this one, divorcing that one, walking down the aisle again, but somehow that chapter with Diddy keeps pulling her right back in supply. The one involving Diddy keeps pulling her back in.
Well, I was trying to tell Paul, we got PIs following. You know what I'm saying? So there was only certain reason if they was following us, if they was PI, somebody was trying to find out something on us. And they'll usually be following us, not when we're going to a big party and stuff like that. They'll just be following me and Puff on our days that we were out and about. We were going certain places.
Word on the street is she wasn't just the pretty plus one at those legendary parties. Nah, folks are talking, and some of these whispers are loud, that she might have been caught up in Diddy's shady or side hustles. Now, nobody's saying she was knee in the drama, but would it really surprise anyone if she knew more than she was letting on? Those days were wild, and this FBI sit-down isn't about swapping stories on music video sets or old dance routines. Nope, they're digging to find out just how much she knows about Diddy's underground dealings, and if she had any part in...
I think the hardest thing about being a producer, or the most challenging thing, is to bring the right group of people together, because it's that chemistry that counts.
Well, I can imagine you're a pro.
Your tea.
Thank you.
Oh, that's mine.
Oh, yeah. That one says queen, and you are the queen. So, Jennifer, why was it important for you to name your company New Yorican Productions?
Because I'm a Puerto Rican from New York.
You thought the tea ran out. Nah, baby, it's just getting started. Diddy's posted up, if you can call it that, in Brooklyn's Metropolitan Detention Center, rubbing elbows with a real lineup of infamous faces. Picture this: R. Kelly as the former cellmate Ghislaine Maxwell just down the hall, and now Mr. Bad Boy himself stepping into the mix. Trust and believe this ain't exactly the kind of A-list gathering you'd want on RSVP2, but here's where it gets wild. He was ready to throw down a cool $50 million just to taste a little freedom on bail. You'd think a price tag like that would make a judge blink right wrong. They're already hit to his old tricks, keeping witnesses zipped up, and with a track record like that, well, let's just say it doesn't scream I'm innocent, no matter how hard you try.
Sean and I were very different that way. I was very family oriented and kind of the married. I was actually, when we first worked together on the video, I was married. I was going to college, nobody knew that. You know what I mean? And I wanted my family, even though that time was not going well. You know what I mean? That was who I was. That's how I was raised.
Ooh, but what's got the streets talking even more is how folks around Diddy are acting real shady. Take Steve Harvey, for example. This man up and deleted an old tweet about Diddy like he's trying to erase his tracks. Sounds fishy. Right now, let's talk about Joe Rogan. This man's been dropping breadcrumbs like he's trying to lead us straight to some real tea. With all that power on his platform, Rogan is the type to air out all the dirty laundry. He's been talking about Hollywood's nasty secrets, and baby Diddy's drama fits right in. If Rogan decides to spill the beans, trust it's going to be one messy situation. But wait, the plot thickens. Those Diddy parties everybody used to beg to get into, well, some folks are saying they weren't just about popping bottles and vibing to music. Nah, they were supposedly fronts for something way darker, kind of like an Epstein vibe. Cameras everywhere, people being filmed without their consent, all to hold something over their heads later. Makes you look at those shiny Instagram pics a little differently, huh? And then there's Ice Cube. My man threw some shade at Diddy during his Vegas concert. It's like everyone's just sitting back waiting for Diddy's downfall, and they're making sure they're not caught up in that mess backstage at Q Show. The whispers were loud, hinting that there's still some juicy details we haven't even scratched the surface of. Maybe Q knows something we don't, something about Diddy's dealings, something big enough to worry about. Then there's Kim Porter's death, Diddy's ex and mother to his children, a tragic loss that has sparked all sorts of theories.
They left at 8 in the morning and Kim was alive. and 11, she's dead. Some foul play, bro. If it was foul play, why would somebody want Kim Porter killed? It's a couple of women in this industry, and for their sake, I will not mention their names.
Now there's chatter going around that Kim Kardashian might have had her hands in the pot when that book got leaked. Was she trying to cover her own tracks, or did she get caught up in something she couldn't wriggle out of? It's hard to say for sure, but it sure feels like there's a whole lot more going on behind closed doors. Kim's always been the mastermind, the one who knows how to spin a story in her favor, so her sudden push for criminal justice reform makes you wonder if that's her move to clean up her image and keep herself out of all this Diddy mess. Some folks are even saying she wasn't just showing up at those wild parties, she was low-key pulling the strings behind the scenes. Sounds like a plot straight out of a thriller, but here we are watching it all unfold like it's some kind of reality show. And don't forget about Usher, the one Diddy took under his wing all those years ago. Now rumors are swirling that Usher got roped into some shady business, maybe against his will. But what if Usher's playing a long game and is ready to get back at everyone who tried to use him? Could Usher be gathering all the receipts to bring Diddy down for good picture? This Usher, the ultimate whistleblower, holding on to the keys to the kingdom, just waiting for the right moment to drop those bombshells. It's another twist in this already tangled mess. Meanwhile, Kevin Hart's been acting a little off lately. You'd think he'd stay clear of all this drama, but instead he's throwing out jokes that hit way too close to home, talking about keeping a tight circle and being careful who you trust. Now, is he just clowning around? Or does he know something we don't? After all, he's knee in Hollywood, and those circles don't play. Maybe he's covering his own tracks, or maybe he's just sitting back, watching the pieces fall into place before he decides to make his move. And then there's J.Lo. What's her role in all of this? What does she really know? She's got a lot at stake: her career, her marriage to Ben Affleck, that iconic status she's worked so hard to build. If she was more involved in Diddy's shady dealings than we think, imagine the storm it could cause. Would Ben stick by her side if it all came crashing down, or is J.Lo really just the innocent bystander caught up in someone else's mess? Her mom's definitely making it clear J.L. ain't going back to Diddy, and maybe she knows her daughter dodged a major bullet. As Diddy's legal drama stacks up, you can bet there are plenty of folks out there scrambling to break ties and distance themselves from the wreckage. And get this, Prince Harry of all people used to be buddy-buddy with Diddy. They'd bonded over charity work, but those days are probably long gone now. Rumors are swirling that Harry may have gotten wrapped up in some sketchy retreats Diddy was hosting. Can you imagine the fallout for Harry, especially with his already shaky relationship with the royal family? Then there's Conor McGregor, the Chaos King, who was all in on starting a new drink biz with Diddy. Yeah, scratch that plan. No one's blaming McGregor for pulling out. Dude loves a good fight. But this ain't the kind of battle he's looking for. He's making moves to quietly exit any shady dealings with Diddy. And we can't forget about Soulja Boy. He went from being Diddy's biggest cheerleader to a vocal critic. He's out here calling Diddy out for not showing love to the younger artists, which, let's be real, looks like he's just following the wave. But it also shows how fast things change in the music game. One day, Diddy's the all-powerful mentor, and the next he's the one folks don't want to mess with. As all these stories start to unfold, the big question is, where does it all end? Diddy's been running the game from music to fashion to movies, but now the whole empire is looking like it's about to come crashing down. What once looked like a glamorous world now feels more like a smokescreen for a tangled web of lies, manipulation, and power plays every day. More connections are surfacing, and it seems like everyone's scrambling to cover their tracks. Who's next to get pulled into this mess? It's raising all sorts of questions about what's coming next as this drama keeps unfolding layer by layer, showing just how deep the chaos really runs. It's almost unbelievable to watch as former friends start turning on each other. How will they deal with the fallout when the dust settles? What will be left of their reputations? This has all the makings of a real-life soap opera, keeping us on the edge of our seats, wondering who's going to come out of this cutthroat game of show business unscathed. 1 minute you're the hero, the next you're the villain, depending on your last move, or who you're seeing with Diddy, once the kingmaker of the industry, now looks more like a puppet master wording his true intentions behind each new project he launches. McGregor's move to distance himself from Diddy might just be a smart one. In this game, your next deal could make or break you, and choosing your circle wisely is more crucial than ever. It's not just about cash, it's about staying out of the drama. McGregor, with his own brand to protect, doesn't need the kind of heat Diddy's bringing right now. Then there's Soulja Boy, whose flip from supporter to critic might seem like he's jumping on the band, but it's also a wake-up call to other artists. It's a reminder that you got to keep your eyes open and question everything, even when someone seems to have your back in this industry. Your ride or die today could be your biggest enemy tomorrow. Soulja Boy looks like he's trying to separate himself before the ship goes down. With every new headline, the cracks in Diddy's empire get wider, and those who once orbited him are starting to realize the risks of staying in his circle. It's a high-stakes game of power, pride, and survival, with everyone trying to stay one step ahead of the wreckage. Who's next to pull back, and who's going to be bold enough to spill the tea? This whole thing has the vibe of a blockbuster film, where every twist leaves you wondering what's coming next. And in this world, the stakes are sky high. We're all tuned in, waiting to see who's going to rise to the top, who's going to crash and burn, and just how far the fallout will stretch, who's going to be left standing when the music finally stops. Jennifer Lopez's life, full of jaw-dropping moments, and let's be real, not all of them have been picture perfect. Sure, she's a showstopper on stage, but let's not kid ourselves, it ain't all glitz and glam. JL's had her fair share of eyebrow-raising scandals that kept the gossip mills running non-stop. From those questionable relationship choices to sketchy performances and failed business moves, she's definitely made her missteps. But hey, isn't that what makes her so fascinating? Hold tight, because this rabbit hole goes deep. Who could forget back in 2001 when she dropped the remix of I'm Real? You remember the one with Ja Rule that dropped a racial slur? Yeah, that one. The track didn't exactly go over well. People were heated, calling her out for not having the sense to check the lyrics. JL tried to defend herself by pointing the finger at Ja Rule, saying she didn't mean to offend anyone. But come on, JL, you're a megastar, not some rookie. That wasn't a slip-up, it was a major misstep that you thought would just slide by unnoticed.
You always get to this point in the album, like for a few days or the last week, the last month, where you just get to the point and you're like, okay, we need a smash. We need a smash to put this album to bed. You have like good stuff, even great stuff, but it's not, you know when you get that record and you're like, all right, send it to the presses. We hadn't got it.
Don't even get me started on J-Lo's love life, child. It's a whole saga, and itself. That whirlwind marriage to Chris Judd in 2001, done before it even really got started. Then came Ben Affleck, the man who had the entire world glued to their screens, watching their every move. Their over-the-top engagement in 2002 turned into a full-blown media circus. But just like that, where you just get to the point and you're like, okay, we need a smash to put this out to bed. You have like good stuff, you have great stuff, but it's not, you know when you get that record and you're like, all right, send it to the presses. We hadn't got there yet. Jennifer Lopez sitting across from FBI agents. Now that's a headline nobody saw coming, but guess what? It's real. And the drama, or should we say the three-ring circus, is just kicking off. The feds showed up at her doorstep, ready to grill her about none other than her ex. Diddy comes, yep, back when J. Duell and Diddy were that couple who couldn't step outside without the cameras losing their minds. So what did Jenny from the block spill to those agents? Did she drop the tea they were thirsting for? Or did she keep that face as cool as the diamonds she wears? If you're thinking this is just some random twist of fate, baby, think again. This was a relationship dripping in drama and shadowed by scandal. Remember those wild nights in the late 90s when Diddy was more an infamous party king than music tycoon? The whispers about what went down behind those VIP curtains never truly faded. They've only gotten louder, and now with Diddy's Sajuks Noor,